Kia ora koutou, day 10 of the 2-week challenge, and I gave some back today. I missed multiple solid entries early on, and when I did finally take trades, I didn't manage risk well. This wasn't about being sick, I just didn't execute. Let's go over the 2 trades I did take. So the first trade I took was on BDRX. BDRX popped up around 7 o'clock and pushed up to a high of 178. Then it pulled back, and I missed this entry here on VWAP. This is where I should have entered here about 144 for a pushback up to 170. And I hesitated on taking that. And then it gave me the opportunity again to get in around VWAP, around 144, 150. It did push back up to 170 again, but really this was now going sideways. And I wasn't going to take it here because it had already put 2 efforts in, hadn't really gained anything through this range here. So I just left it, and it rolled over, dumped down below VWAP, and then was holding around 120. So the sirens today. I got in here as it put in this green candle, and I kind of pulled the trigger a bit early. It pushed up here to 137. Actually, I'll zoom in a bit. Pushed up here to about 138, and I got in here on this pullback at 134. Bit preemptive. I thought it was going to push higher, volume come in and push back over VWAP. It didn't. It rejected straight away, and really a lot of selling pressure here. A lot of selling pressure. You can see the bigger red candles here, and really when I look at it now, there wasn't a lot of volume in that green candle. So probably not the best option to buy in here. So I was probably a bit preemptive and should have waited for confirmation. If I'd waited and seen that it was pulling back, I wouldn't have got in here at all. And then I didn't stop out, so I didn't manage my risk. So I should have stopped out around 130, 128, around that range there to get out of this trade. Pulled all the way back down to 119, and then eventually did push back up to 133, where I should have gotten out. I wouldn't have got a fill at 133, but maybe 132, 131. Eventually, as it pushed up again to 130, I took exit at 128. When it pushed up here to 133, I thought there might be a chance that it might push over 134, back up to 138, 140, but it just didn't have it in it, and it pulled back. So that was my first trade. A loss of 6 cents per share, which was a $7.80 loss on BDRX. And yeah, that just didn't work. That trade just didn't work at all. And that stock never really recovered anywhere near that level either. So in the end, it wasn't a bad loss. I still managed to stop out within my stop range. I just should have been out sooner at that range, not holding it for 20 minutes. So the next trade I took, the next stock I traded was APVO. APVO had a couple pushes in the morning, and actually pushed quite high after the open, but I managed to get stuck in this flush. So it had popped up, pulled back. I missed an entry here at this pullback here at 767, 750. This would have been where I should have been in here, as it broke here at 790 for the push up to 880. That would have been a better trade. Instead, I waited here for a pullback, and once again, not waiting for confirmation, I got in at $8.49, looking for it to hold this level around here. around the $0.50 or bouncing off the 9 EMA. It did neither of those. It held for a moment there at the 9 EMA, pushed up into that new candle, but it failed and rejected off that and then kept dumping. And really, as soon as it broke the 9 EMA, that should have been my exit, and that would have been a loss around about $6 or something like that. I think it was around $6 around this level here at 8.16. Instead, I kept holding until it got all the way down to below VWAP and below the 20 EMA. So that was where I didn't manage my risk at all. You know, I'm down over $1 a share, $1.10 actually a share on this trade. So that was $22 loss. So didn't manage my risk at all on this trade. This was my stop loss here around $8.24. That's where I should have been out. Or even as it broke down, you know, I was in here at $8.49, pretty much, you know, near the bottom of this candle. Here, you can see my trade marker. And as soon as it rejected down to here, down to the 9 EMA, you know, and it wasn't holding, I should have been out. That should have been my exit. But it wasn't to be. So not a very good trade on that either. So missed my entry here at this level here. This is where I should have been in, either for the break of that first green candle or on the dip down to the 9 EMA would have been a more aggressive entry, and you know, looking for it to push higher up to the previous high. Instead, I looked at getting at 8.50 here, looking for a push back to the high. Didn't happen. Broke down, didn't stop out. Bigger loss than I was expecting. So not a great trade on APVO. I do see that obviously it made a massive move in the after the open, but I had long since stopped trading by then. And then LSE was another stock that I watched in the morning. I didn't trade it, but this put in some decent moves in pre-market. Where did I see it? I saw it here. So I saw it here around 6.30, it put in a move, it held $9, $9.15. So this area here. I saw it there, that was the first thing I saw when I opened up my software. And I thought about, oh, it's on the VWAP, maybe I should buy in there. But I just opened my software up and I thought, no, that's, I'm not sure about that. It's quite a bit expensive. I couldn't afford many shares on that trade either, so I forgo, yeah, I didn't get in on that trade. But there was definitely an entry there of VWAP as it broke up over that first green candle. Even here as it broke through the 9 EMA and held the 9 EMA. For a push up to, you know, $10, $10.50, $11, it pushed up to. So it was actually a pretty decent trade if I'd taken it, even with a smaller share size, wouldn't have been bad. So I missed that trade, and again I missed the next time it came up through VWAP as well. Broke through here, pulled back down to the 9 EMA, held that 9 EMA, broke up through here, entry here at $9.80, $10. For a push back up to, definitely wouldn't have got 12. This was a flash candle to the $12 and straight back down again. So, you know, may have got 11 or something like that around through here, but yeah. But yeah, didn't take that trade, so missed that entry. There was a couple of other dip trades down here as well, but I don't trade dips anymore. So that was LSE, and RELI was another stock that I saw pop and I didn't trade. Not sure why I didn't really trade RELI. I think I saw it here around 7 o'clock on the scanner, and it had pulled back quite a bit, and this would have been a better trade than BDRX really. Trading this off the low. I just didn't like the way it was moving, I guess. But it pushed here up to 319. Didn't go any further, but held $3. Held $3, pushed to 323. Held $3 again, and then eventually broke over 325 and put in a decent move up to 348. Another dip entry, another entry here for pullback down to the 9 EMA, and this is where I should be getting in. I should be just trading the 9 EMA, as it pulls back down, coming back down to the 9 EMA, and then, buying off. Obviously the 9 EMA is not always right there when you are trading because it will come up due to the next candle. But I should be, as it's coming down, I should be getting in if it's popping back up in here and then looking for a push higher. So that went up to 388. I missed that entire move there around 7:45. Then it rolled over and that was pretty much it for RELI. So that was it for me this morning. So I only took the 2 trades, one on BDRX, 130 shares at 134, exit at 128 for a loss of $7.80. APVO, 20 shares at 8.49, out at 7.39 for a loss of $22. And a total loss today of $29.80. So that makes me green, that makes me red on the week, down $5.51. So only one day left in this week. There's a holiday tomorrow for June 10th. And I'll be back on Friday to see if I can make this a green week. Really do need to make it a green week, and pretty gutted that I had that massive loss. This wasn't massive, it was just mismanaged. On that second trade on APVO that really put me down. So if I'd not taken that trade and only had the $7.80 loss, I'd still be in the green and looking forward to a green week. But now I've got to turn it around from a red to a green week on Friday. So one trading day left. This was a frustrating day, not because I took losses, but because I didn't manage them. I hesitated early, chased late, and didn't stick to my rules. It's disappointing, especially this far into the challenge. But I know what went wrong, and that's something I can fix. If you're following the challenge, thanks for sticking with me through the ups and downs. I'll be back on Friday as the stock market is closed tomorrow. Let's see if I can trade with more discipline and bounce back. Hit subscribe if you want to follow the full journey. Ka kite.